a revolt over President Trump's, quote, corruption tour of the Middle East. That's what people are calling it, including longtime Republican allies of Donald Trump. So this is where we start on the right. The National Review, one of the most conservative magazines out there, says it's a plain old grift. It's a poison plane. And welcome to the swamp now under new management. That's a taste of what you might call the intellectual side of conservative politics right now. Writers, editors at a place known for supporting the MAGA agenda on many issues, including crackdowns on immigration, saying enough is enough when it comes to this kind of what they call grift. Trump is making his first foreign trip of this second term, but it's being overshadowed by his plane debacle. Indeed, for some, it's hard to watch him dismount from the U.S.-made Air Force One without thinking of his plan to personally pocket a foreign-created Air Force One if that plan continues to get off the ground. This was him landing in Saudi Arabia. Separately, the Trump family organization continues to pursue billions of dollars in real estate and associated deals in that country and region. He's greeted by their leader there, but the outrage is dwarfing the trip because leading into the trip, first with journalistic reporting and then with the president confirming it, so there's no debate, no contested story here, the news has broken that Trump wants to take a $400 million luxury jumbo jet from a foreign country of Qatar. You're seeing some of the inside luxurious accommodations here as it stands. This would be then further updated and retrofitted as an American Air Force One. Qatar is where he's headed tomorrow. Conservatives, independents, and certainly opposition party Democrats all seem to agree on this story of the Trump era, that this is a kind of brazen profiteering. Here's Murdoch's Wall Street Journal, of course, the sister outlet to Fox News, quote, Trump sends message to the world he's open for business. Over at the New York Times, corruption concerns. The Washington Post reporting on the private business conflicts, I should say. Or if you want a more tabloid flavor, the New York Post, which many people still read, if you're in New York in a tabloid broadsheet or online, Qatar's palace in the sky, not a free gift. And they say Trump shouldn't accept it as one. That is a baseline and obvious point. Everybody knows this in normal life. If somebody wants to buy you a drink or a dinner, sure. If they want to buy you too large a gift out of nowhere and you're not friends, it's suspicious. In business, if the gift is really large and they want things from you, it can be called a kickback. It's unseemly, it's a conflict, and in many regulated businesses in the United States, it can become an ethics concern, a fireable offense, and in some cases, illegal. Now, Republicans are not standing with Trump on this one. Nikki Haley says if it were Biden, we'd be furious. And with your own ears, you can hear Republican senators weighing in.
It's a nice gesture, but I think maybe the thing to do is to say, hey, we appreciate it, but there's a lot of other things you could help us out with.
That doesn't seem to be right, and I think it's not going to pass the smell test.
Well, what I'm concerned is the safety of the president. I mean, Qatar's not, in my opinion, a great ally.
Well, they better sweep that plane from front to back.
Air Force One is the symbol of America. When it lands or flies, it is America flying and landing, and I want to make sure that this whole thing is kosher. Time will tell.
Well, listen, I'm not a fan of Qatar. I think they have a really disturbing pattern of funding theocratic lunatics who want to murder us. I also think that the plane poses significant espionage and surveillance problems. So we'll see how this issue plays out. But I certainly have concerns.
That's Senator Ted Cruz, who has supported Donald Trump's MAGA agenda for years. He's apologized for Donald Trump. But if you're saying, wow, did he change his mind? Has he learned that there are issues with Donald Trump? This one raising basic competence about national security, as he said, the espionage concern, which again goes back to the alleged corruption concern. Maybe protecting the United States' security, intelligence, and interests comes second to just pocketing $400 million. Because remember, the brazen plan would be the plane would be used and then go back to Trump's personal use post-presidency through his library, if this happens, if he gets away with it. But Ted Cruz is actually returning to where he started, which is why when you watch some of these stories in the news and you say, am I bananas? Are they bananas? Is this okay? Well, a lot of these folks, including conservatives, had all the same concerns about Donald Trump. I'm quoting them as a news anchor. They had concerns about what they called Donald Trump's dishonesty or lies or alleged possible corruption issues. And they had all of those concerns before Trump amassed the power he has today over the Republican Party. So it is back in the news tonight to consider what Ted Cruz warned about Donald Trump before he was ever elected.
Donald, you're a sniveling coward. It is no surprise that Donald is throwing yet another temper tantrum, or if you like, yet another Trumper tantrum. This man is a pathological liar. The man cannot tell the truth.
Now, Trump has also teamed up with a Saudi developer for this 47-story tower in that nation. This could run hundreds of millions of dollars. It is a reminder that even if Donald Trump has some wealth, and even if his family has some wealth, and even if he's profited a lot recently off crypto, there is a kind of ongoing desire to take time and energy through the Trump organization to build and profit off all this stuff that he is doing, like Elon Musk, more than just the public interest job inside the federal government. Trump goes to Qatar next. His family has a $5 billion golf club that they're developing there. The numbers could ebb and flow, but that's the kind of goal. It's a luxury plane level destination for sure. And then Trump heads to UAE, where his family also did a deal for $1 billion tower and hotel for the Trump organization. There's also a planned Trump hotel there in Oman. Trump has an ongoing relationship with the Saudi-backed golf tournament, which again uses government money. That is quite common in that region. But the question is, where does that money head? If, like the jet, we are seeing a veritable map of self-dealing as the U.S. government interests, your safety and security around the world, our soldiers, etc., is somehow mixed or even comes second to all of these business dealings. This is a level of profiteering that is unheard of in the modern presidency. But the luxury plane portion with the photos and the blatant plan not to wait and see or we'll decide later, but to announce that he wants to keep it forever, meaning he wants the $400 million from Qatar. He wants to enjoy it now in the White House, but as long as he and his family go on forward, they would keep that lavish, almost $500 million benefit. That seems to have tipped over the scales.